Your children's minds are in danger. What if the shows that are made for infants and toddlers, etc., are not as harmless as you think? Those shows that you think are meant to be educational and fun for them is actually causing more harm in ways where they're actually considered to be as addictive as doing drugs. What's going on, my people? It's your boy Mario of Woke Up a Rebel, and I'm bringing you a new episode of Woke Up a Rebel Reacts. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about a show that is very alarming to me, and I think all parents should be aware of this show. If your kids are already watching this show, then please, I highly recommend you stop letting them watch this, okay? It is not meant for their betterment. What show am I talking about? I'm talking about Cocomelon. I myself do not have any kids, unless you consider being a cat dad, being a parent, but I don't have any kids yet. And because of the fact that I don't, I'm trying to educate myself as much as I can, before I do become a parent, to the dangers of children's programming or supposed children's programming. Thank you so much to every single one of you who keep tuning into these episodes. Truly greatly appreciate you. And I really hope after this episode you consider subscribing to the channel so that I can be encouraged, to continue searching for videos like this that could potentially be educational and helpful to all of you parents and aunts, uncles, cousins, anybody, if you're around kids, then, try to show this to those parents, who are oblivious and have no idea and think that children's programming is innocent. Why would the powers that be tampering with those things for kids? Well, guess what? They are. And they're trying to get your kids hooked onto their programming even when they can't even speak or walk yet. Okay, so not too long ago, maybe a week ago, I came across this video by a channel called Sunny V2. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it, but that's what their channel is. It's called Sunny V2. And it's a pretty good channel. I don't watch all of their videos because not everything is for me. And you would think that this video is not for me either because, like I said, I am not a parent. But it really caught my attention because I think it's very scary that kids programming could be this concerning, that they're doing this. So I'm going to play the video right now and stay tuned for more because, my goodness, it's creepy to say the least. Okay, so let's get right into this video.
My son is almost 2 and I've been letting him watch Cocomelon, but now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk. There are hundreds and hundreds of anecdotes in which parents mention the exact same problem. The Cocomelon show is so insanely addictive, it's being compared to nicotine and causing developmental issues amongst the kids who can't stop watching. Children's TV expert Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colors. Take for example the wheels on the bus. The three main colors, blue, green and yellow, are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications as it's exciting, dynamic and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines.
So already right there, do you see that comparison? Off the jump, the colors that are used in this show are similar to what are used in slot machines, right? And what do we know about gambling? It's addicting. You can't get around that. Like if you're constantly consuming that type of stuff, you like gambling, then it's gonna do something to you. It's gonna do something to your mind, and these are the same strategies that they're using now for children's programming, right? So it's creepy.
Melon puts these colors in perfect contrast, making them appear even more vibrant, which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colors instead blend together. Cocomelon's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views. A child's brain is wired to learn through repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over and over again.
So that brings us, this is a kid's show, right? Repetitive programming. Let's look at our music, our current music situation, right? The music industry. They constantly play the same songs over and over and over again on the radio. They're constantly pushing the same songs, the same content to you on all these social media sites with really bad music. regardless of the culture, whatever your background is. But we've seen this a lot in mainstream music here in North America and Latin music, that the music quality has gone so down horribly, but these songs, they keep getting pushed to us to the point where it starts convincing you that it's good, right? So just think about the similar strategies that are being used on kids. This is the stuff that's been being used on everybody forever. Older people that are watching, different types of shows, movies, listening to music.
Cocomelon abuses this in almost every video. For example, in the Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked. Literally no show or movie puts my son into a deep trance the way Cocomelon does. The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is only exacerbated by Cocomelon's subtitles, which have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational, I can barely read them fast enough. It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention. Cocomelon explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But people have argued that they're teaching exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No No Bedtime song, the baby refuses to brush his teeth, have a bath, put on pajamas, or get in bed. The education is that he eventually agrees to do so, yet a TikTok user was critical, stating, anytime I'd ask my son to do a simple task, he'd say no, no, no. He's sitting there watching Cocomelon, which taught him no, 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 and to say no to me. On the topic of education, Jerica San stated, these people don't give a shit about our children. They care about money. That's it. Your child's cognitive development in direct exchange for their wealth, and there's pretty good.
So you see that your child's cognitive development in exchange for their wealth, this is very concerning, because it's the reality. It's the reality how almost everything operates. All these corporations, they only care about profit. They don't care how they get these profits. And now when it comes to children's programming, same thing.
Good evidence supporting this. A New York Times journalist visited Cocomelon's studio, discovering their #1 focus is keeping children hooked. Cocomelon's data and analytics team sifts constantly through YouTube numbers to determine exactly what resonates. Should a girl wear black jeans or blue jeans? Should the music be louder or softer? Should the bust be yellow or red? Yellow is the answer, as they use a darker method to ensure that they're correct. Cocomelon has a dedicated Distractatron room, in which once a month children are brought here one at a time and shown a handful of episodes to figure out exactly which parts of the shows are engaging and which are tuned out. Next to the TV playing Cocomelon, there's a second screen which plays a continuous loop of banal real-world scenes. A guy pouring a cup of coffee, someone getting a haircut, each lasting about 20 seconds. Whenever a youngster looks away from the Moonbug show to glimpse the Distractatron, a note is jotted down. We can see what they're looking at and the exact moment when they got distracted. Therefore, education clearly isn't the primary goal. Keeping kids...
Isn't that creepy? That they actually do studies with kids. They use kids as little lab rats. And, they're actually trying to see when it is that they look away from the screen. Like, they're trying to perfect keeping your kids distracted, right? And it's proving, right, that it's not about quality educational content. It's about keeping their attention grabbed on that show.
Attention is, and this is proven by Cocomelon's most addictive element, rapid camera cutting. It's crazy how many times the frame changes on Cocomelon. It's the same type of addicting behavior that we experience on a TikTok binge. It's the quick change of frame that releases that dopamine and makes the videos addicting to watch. Count the seconds between a change of frame. Well, TikToker the Circus Brain did exactly this. He firstly counts the changes on My Little Pony, concluding there's about 6 seconds between each cut. He then compares it to Cocomelon.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1, 1.
Wow.
2, 1, 2, 1.
In her video, The Nightmare That Is Cocomelon, Savantix draws a similar conclusion. She found that 96% of the shots in Baby Shark were shorter than 2 seconds. She then compares 4 different animated shows, again finding Cocomelon has the shorter shots.
The longest shot on a Cocomelon video was 6 seconds. The longest shot on Arcane was 8 seconds. The longest shot on Bluey was 27 seconds. And the longest shot on Encanto was 18 seconds.
Which, when combined with every other element, creates some terrifying statistics. Dr. Kristen Summer explained that when showing an infant normal video content, content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to Cocomelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%.
Wow.
This therefore produces stories such as this. I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song time. A Cocomelon video came on, and all of the tots stopped what they were doing, put down their cheese crackers, and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of the video. It was honestly kind of terrifying. YouTuber Saberspark shared his own personal anecdote. He asked to watch a Disney movie with his 2 younger cousins, who both completely refused, and instead spent all day glued to an iPad playing the addictive show. In Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, a mother talks about her son. He would be in a daze while watching it. You could be waving your hand right in front of his face, and he wouldn't move. It was almost...
Okay. Wow, like that's a lot to take in. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine, like, your babies are actually like this hyper focused on watching something on YouTube, and it makes you question, you know, like, why? You know, parents are busy. Everybody's busy trying to make a living, especially when they have kids. I have a lot of friends with kids, you know, and their lives change drastically. You know, no matter how successful they are, it just seems like everything just turns upside down, and you know, being able to focus on things, it's almost impossible now, because all their attention is on making sure their kid is well fed, there's a roof over their head, all of that stuff. And sometimes in that process, they're not even paying attention to what their kids are watching anymore. And you would think that it's innocent, you know, they're watching kids programming, there can't be anything wrong with that. So they let their kids watch stuff all day long, you know, and we already know that there's those parents that think that allowing them to watch children's programming all day is educational, it's safe, you know, it substitutes for them actually engaging with their kid and spending time with them, you know, and, you know, so they can do their other stuff, their other chores and, you know, daily things, right? But this is showing you that it's very dangerous, you know, to allow your kids to just be watching anything at all times, right? Think about music videos, right? Compare this to music videos. All the changing frames in music videos, right? How next time you watch a music video, think about how many times they change frames and count the seconds, how often they switch the frames, right? It's to keep you glued, to keep you engaged, right? Think about that. They're manipulating us, people.
Scary. This was also discovered by Sarah Mills 98, who explained when the Cocomelon addiction is so real that my 1-year-old can navigate the TV to turn it on by himself. However, nothing shows the addiction better than the Cocomelon TikTok trend. Parents will play the show's intro loudly and video their kids sprinting toward the television, where you can witness their mood change instantly.
Whoa.
The New York Times journalist found something similar. The kid in the Distractotron had shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the Cocomelon theme song. It was no surprise to Wheeler, the head of research. 99% of kids, he said, if they're having issues when they get here, once that Cocomelon song comes on, they're like, life is okay, all is good with the world. Obviously, there's a reason for this. Cocomelon is so hyper-stimulating that it actually acts as a drug, and what happens when you take the drug away. Young children experiencing symptoms of addiction and withdrawal, obviously leaving them completely dysregulated. TikTok user ThePof1 filmed what happens when you take the show away, explaining he'll be inconsolable for at least 10 to 15 minutes after, adding in the description, Cocomelon meltdown is legit. Once you have a taste of the Coco, it's hard to break the addiction, which this Reddit user had experienced even worse. My husband and I have been worried about our child. I can slowly see how she'd throw violent tantrums at home and in church whenever she'd get bored. And
Sorry, just made that correlation. Cocomelon, OT Genesis song, I'm in love with the Coco. They're comparing this to cocaine. The show's addictive. What the heck is going on here, people?
want to watch the show. Her behavior changes the moment she watches the show, and she will not even eat her meals if she wouldn't watch it. After these tantrums end, kids can experience a general discomfort in the speed of everyday life. The more they watch the show, the more their brain begins to expect this intense level of stimulation.
Basically, Cocomelon overstimulates their brains so much that everything else just seems slow and boring in comparison.
However, the potential consequences get much worse than this. As mentioned at the start, it was the cause of a child's speaking problems, with a notable reply reading, "Same thing happened with my daughter too. She's 4 but can't speak properly. She knows the words, but she does not like to frame the sentence or speech. She has been watching these Cocomelons or such other stuffs for 2 or 3 years. Hope we're not too late." Over on Reddit, a speech language pathologist explained, "Screen time in general is linked with speech delays for a variety of reasons, but Cocomelon is excessively bad. Firstly, unlike other TV shows or movies, it doesn't have a story. It's just very short clips with poorly written songs. The kids aren't able to follow the plot, learn vocabulary, and see the resolution of a conflict supported by by infant specialist Meg Fora.
And the problem with fast-paced TV programs is that we find that little one's language development is slower.
On the Agents of Speech YouTube channel, this is again confirmed.
The main problem with watching videos on the internet is that they don't know how to use the language that they learn.
But he adds that 4 to 5 hours of screen time per day can make a toddler completely non-verbal. 4 to 5 hours is obviously a lot of time, but in
People, if you're allowing your kids to watch 4 to 5 hours of anything on a screen, that's a major red flag. Not for the kid, but for you as the parent. And, you know, even as an adult, you shouldn't be watching anything for 4 to 5 hours at all. Can you imagine what that's doing to your brain?
Cocomelon made my kid a zombie, researchers discovered that 5-year-olds who watch more than 2 hours of TV a day tended to have lower attention spans and were 7.7 times more likely to show symptoms of ADHD. These screen times might be even lower for Cocomelon specifically because, as explained by Jerica Sands, not all screen time is created equal. A child who just watched 30 minutes of Cocomelon and a child who just watched 30 minutes of Trash Truck will look like a very, very different child. Thankfully, here lies a simple solution. Sierra Renee explained my 2-year-old is speech delayed and addicted to Cocomelon. Switched to Miss Rachel 2 days ago, and he's already saying more words and hasn't had any tantrums. Kim.it shared an almost identical anecdote. My 8-month-old was obsessed with Cocomelon and having bad tantrums, so I cancelled Cocomelon and only let her watch Miss Rachel, and she said her first word within the first 3 days of watching. Clearly, parents are able to simply change the channel, but not before leaving Cocomelon a massive amount of dislikes. They've therefore earned the title the absurdly popular kid show parents hate, and Cocomelon has actually responded to the criticism that explain our shows are not intended to replace outdoor playtime or playdates. They have a place in children's entertainment time, and as with food, exercise, etc., it comes down to each parent to find the right and appropriate balance for their children. Our responsibility is ensuring that the quality of the content that we produce is high and beneficial for the development of a child's cognitive and soft skills. It is worth adding that our social media communities are filled with stories of parents who experience firsthand how Moonbug content helps their children. Cocomelon does have a crazy amount of supporters, but it's obvious that some of them are simply ignoring the downsides. My baby learned the alphabet and numbers from Cocomelon. She may not speak a complete sentence, but she expresses her wants through phrases. But is it Cocomelon's responsibility to ensure that babies are talking? Well, no. People love blaming cartoons and games for raising children, and not the shitty parents that don't step in to stop them from watching so much. Cocomelon is actually a really sad symbol of parents giving their children tablets instead of actually parenting and interacting with them.
Okay, well, that was the end of the video. But yeah, thank you so much, Sunny V2. I don't know who these people are over here, but let's I want to check something out. Let's look at the Cocomelon streams. 9.9k watching, 2.1k watching. I feel sorry for all of these kids. 2.4k. Right, so it's just constantly playing over and over and over again. It's actually...
Bars, bars, why don't you climb the bars?
Yes, 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 I want to climb the bars.
Good, good, bars are fun for you.
Yay, 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 I like them. Ooh.
See, monkey likes the bars.
Thought it was a rabbit. It's a creepy little monkey.
Climbing's fun, you see.
Yes, 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 you see I'm climbing now. Climb, 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 I like it, wow.
Okay, that was enough. Cocomelon. I mean, this could be directly linked to us growing up, watching a lot of TV, watching a lot of movies, playing a lot of video games, to the actually today, on this day today, today's Monday, October, I don't know what date it is today. I think it's October 7th. And Instagram turned 14 years old today. Isn't that creepy? 14 years ago, our lives just started getting a little bit more distracted. You know, we're constantly swiping, getting that, looking for that dopamine hit over and over and over again. And I guess this is the result of that now. 14 years later, we are now, well, not myself, but my age group, we're parents now. And all of these things that we absorbed and allowed to take over our minds are now transferring over to our kids. You know, and we don't see it as harmful because we're doomed. Our brains are rotted, you know, are rotten now, you know, for this constant, you know, instant dopamine rush. And TikTok made it worse, right? So I I don't know what to say, like what direction are we going in? So parents, please stop allowing your kids to just sit in front of a TV and watch something all day long. This is dangerous. And I don't think Cocomelon is necessarily a bad thing. The bad thing is allowing your kids to watch it all day thinking that this is educational. And I don't think it's just with Cocomelon the problem. I think it's with anything. Don't let your kids just sit on a tablet watching iPad, watching something on your phone because you're too distracted or you got something else going on. If that's the case, then why'd you have kids? I know life is busy, but you got to really put in the work now. The devil is really trying to get your kids' minds from that age, before it used to be, teenagers or preteens, watching certain things, that would start attacking their minds. But now they're really, the enemy of our souls is really trying to get your kids from that infant stage. So please, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, please warn the parent friends that you have of all of these things. And sometimes parents will have the argument of, well, you're not a parent, you don't know this and that. Who cares? You know what? Do your due diligence by at least doing your part and showing them something like this, like the video that I'm making here, as a warning that, the enemy of our souls, corporations, they're only seeking profit to maximize their profits every year and every year. And I don't know who's behind Cocomelon, but this is dangerous. This is absolutely dangerous. I'm actually going to see. Let's see. Cocomelon CEO. Let's see what comes up. So this is the Cocomelon CEO. Jae Jeon, South Korean. Interesting. Started a faceless channel to teach his kids concepts like the ABCs through engaging. So Cocomelon got sued in 2021. Accused Baby Bus of plagiarizing Cocomelon's. Okay, this is something different. YouTube giant Cocomelon awarded 6% in legal fees. What is the salary of Cocomelon? The series earns about $128 million a year off rotting your kids' minds. The CEO is worth $460 million. That's insane. Founder of Treasure Studio Inc. that creates Cocomelon. Treasure Studio Inc., eh? Okay. His wife worked as a children's book illustrator. So, these are people that are, wow, they're very, very rich. That's insane. All right, people. So please look at, these are people that do not care about you or your kids. They're just thinking about maximizing profits. Wow. So I hope that you were able to take something from this video. I hope that you're a little bit more vigilant on how much time your kids are watching television or anything, because the problem is not that they're watching these things, it's how long they're watching them for. And if you see that your kids are displaying any of these behavior issues, such as speech issues, or they have tantrums when you're not letting them watch what they want to watch, whether it's Cocomelon or Baby Shark or whatever else is out there, you need to do something about that before it really becomes a problem. And another thing that really bothers me, especially in the minority communities, is that schools like to tell you that there's something wrong with your kid because they have a learning disability, or they're having an issue with, some sort of learning something, and they try to tell you that your kid needs to take these pills, or they need to go into the special class or something. And it could be something that is going on at home, that they're probably watching something that is overstimulating their mind in the wrong way. So let's not allow the system to tell you that there's something wrong with your kid when it's probably what they're consuming. It's probably their learning strategies. You know what I mean? So try your best to minimize their screen time. Please, for the love of God, stop letting your kids watch so much. And you yourself, stop watching so much social media content. Stop being mindlessly scrolling on TikTok. If you're not learning anything from it, then don't spend so much time on it, because it's rotting your brain in ways that you don't even think. Like, these parents think that their kids are, learning something until they realize that they're showing very weird behavior issues, right? So think about music videos now. Us as adults, we're consuming all of this garbage that these music labels are pumping out to us. They're showing us, they're showing us blatant witchcraft, and nobody's noticing it because of the way that it's being portrayed to you. People aren't noticing that Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Lana Del Rey, these are women that are actually telling you to your face that they are practicing witches, and witches do incantations. They do things they're using what they're doing in their personal life to get your attention, to get you to buy tickets, to get you to buy merch. And you think it's innocent. You think it's just the music that's captivating you. No, it's a strategy. They're scientifically doing these things. They've hired people to figure out how it is that they can get your attention so that they can maximize their profits while leaving you and your soul feeling empty. Okay, and I don't want the Swifties coming after me, but do your research on your star, on your goddess. Like, she calls herself a witch. What do you think Eras means, right? Her Eras tour. Like, what do you think that means? Let's take a step back, people, and start realizing that these corporations are only trying to make money. They don't care about you and how they're rotting your brain. Okay, so thank you so much for this. I truly appreciate that you stayed with me for this long. If you would like to support the channel, please subscribe. Please like this video. Leave a comment down below. Have you had any of these experiences with your kids? And have you noticed certain things with your kids' behavior watching these shows? And if you would like to share, by all means, let me know in the comments so that other people can learn and they can be aware of the dangers of what's going on out here. And if you know of any other shows that we should be aware of, please let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for being here. Please head over to wokeuparebel.com if you would like to check out some of the merch that we have. Today, I am actually not rocking one of our shirts. I'm rocking a shirt that was given to me by a friend when I helped them work a concert. And it's celebrating 30 years of La Fuente del Puro Sabor, which is a restaurant or a juice bar here in Toronto. So shout out to you guys. But please head over to wokeuparebel.com. Check out the merch that we have there. If you like something, please support us. And when I say us, I mean Aisha and I at Woke Up a Rebel. We are DJs. We are event curators. We are ready to be booked by all of you who would like to hire us for your event, for your special, event, party, wedding, whatever it is. All right, so please like the video and share it with parents. Please share it with somebody that you think could really use this information, okay? I am your boy Mario, and thank you so much for being here. Catch you in the next video.